G'day guys, Coach Jesse here. In today's video I want to talk about my quest to nail the half bodyweight military press. So that's this kettlebell you can see right here. The 40 kilo, also known as the Bulldog, or for you Americans, the 88 pounder. This is something I've been training for and working towards for the past 3 to 4 months after I attended my SFG2 certification. So I do have a previous article that details my experience on the certification weekend, and I passed all the skills, but I didn't pass the strength test, which was getting this kettlebell from the ground to the rack and then above my head for 1 repetition. And I'm very pleased to say that I have now accomplished that. And it wasn't an easy task. This is something, when I first heard about it for achieving SFG2 status, half your body weight above the head. I was like, holy crap. I was like, that's a lot of weight. And I actually thought to myself, is that achievable? And there was a bit of an oh shit moment where I was like, right, that kind of scares me. And having done my level 1, I got the 36 kilo bell overhead for a 1 rep max. And for the last few years, I'd not really trained the press. I'd been working on other things. But fast forward to the level 2 weekend, that was what was required. And over the last 13, 14 weeks, I had a plan that I followed very successfully. And that's what I want to talk to you about today, is how I kind of went from not training the press, or being comfortable with the 24, to then eventually pressing the 40 kilo above my head. Okay? Now, I'm going to try and zoom in and out so you can kind of see the whiteboard as well as I'm talking to you. There's kind of like 5 main things that I found as the reasons that made me be successful on my journey. And the first one is this: you need to follow a proven plan or program. Okay, so the one that I chose is from a mentor of mine, Tim Armand. Now, Tim is a very strong guy. Tim's somebody I've looked up to for a number of years. He had an article on the Strong First site that he detailed his 6-month progression to get him to the beast, which is what he needed to achieve his goals. So I went on the site, I looked at it, and I downloaded it, I printed it off, and I read it all the way through. So my goal was, I know Tim personally, I just wanted to follow the program. Step 1, step 2, step 3. No changes, no additions, anything like that. Because here's the thing, guys, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Myself, I've been a coach for over a decade, and I'm super into the science and the nervous system and what drives human physiology and biomechanics and all this stuff. But if you're not a coach, if you're just a kettlebell enthusiast, if you want to just get stronger and build some muscle and hit this target of a half bodyweight press, don't reinvent the wheel, because success leaves clues. There's already plans out there that you can kind of search online and just plug and play. As long as your technique is solid, then you can basically just pick a program and follow it from start to finish, and it should take you where you want to get, or pretty damn close to it. So that's the first thing. The second thing is kind of what I just alluded to there, is I have a bad habit of always trying to add things. And Tim actually pulled me up on this years ago, and I didn't kind of get it at the time. It took a number of years for it to kind of sink in, but he hit the nail right on the bloody head. Is when I get a program or a plan, I'm always looking at it, trying to tweak things and adjust. All right, how can I make this better? What can I add to make it more superior or more beneficial or more effective? The plan was already effective enough. So for me, I had to kind of pull the reins back and say, Jesse, just follow the fucking plan. A, B, C. If that's all it says, just do those things. Don't add anything. Don't substitute anything. Don't make any deviations. Just follow the fucking plan. And that's really what I did. And another reason I say don't add anything is the plan that I followed, the program that I followed. I did 2 cycles. I did 2 rounds of it. Very quickly, I found that the sessions were long. Okay? I had a competing goal at the same time, which was to try and work on my snatch. And I very quickly realized that that's not going to work. My training sessions ended up being, up to and even beyond 90 minutes. So something had to give. So for the duration of this pressing program and of my goal of pressing half body weight, I stopped doing snatches because the goal was to press 40 kilos. all right? So that's all I did. I just focused on pressing, and the results improved tremendously, okay? And really you got to think quality over quantity. The goal isn't to do more stuff, okay? This goal for me is very clearly defined. Half body weight, so 40 kilograms, one press of the military press overhead. That's it. So snatching isn't really in alignment of that goal. So that's why I kind of push that to the side for now until I accomplish that goal. Then you can kind of bring it back in. So don't add too many things. And if in doubt, remove. Trim the fat from your program. Do less stuff and do it better. Okay? Number 3, nutrition. Eat in a surplus. This is something Tim told me directly, and I'm telling you directly, is if you want to press a heavy kettlebell above your head, it's going to be very, very hard work, a lot of hard work, a lot of presses, a lot of intensity, a lot of load, which means you need a lot of energy. Okay, if you are in calorie maintenance, so trying to just maintain your current weight, or even in a deficit where you're trying to lose some body weight, again, it's probably going to be incongruent. You've got one goal which you need to build muscle and amplify your strength, and being in a calorie deficit where you're trying to lose fat really isn't going to get you in the same direction. Basically, you've got one goal angling over here and the other goal angling over here. For now, just pick one and work on that. But if your goal is a half body weight press, eat in a surplus, okay? Get your calories in. Where from? You know, do what you need to do. Eat your protein, eat your carbs. If it means, like for me personally, I had some things that I wouldn't class as healthy, because you just need the calories. So do what you need to do, but make sure you are in a calorie surplus. You're eating more calories than you burn on a daily basis, all right? And the program that I followed, it's high in both intensity, so it's heavy, and it's also high in volume, the actual total number of reps that you have to do. So you really have to account for that as well. Typically when we do programming and things like that, one or the other kind of happens at a time. Intensity goes up or volume, but there are points in this program where it waves, and both of these things happen simultaneously. So there were training sessions, and I detail this a bit in the article as well. There were days where I'd walk into train and I would see, okay, I'm on, you know, day 2, week 3, and I would see whatever program and the volume for the day, and I'd be like, oh shit, this is going to be very hard. So for those days, you need to make sure again that you're really well fueled and well hydrated and well rested. Okay. Number 4, master the technique. Okay. The military press is a skill. Okay. Any kettlebell exercise you do is a skill, and you have to treat it as such. If you've never done a military press before, I wouldn't encourage you to go and start following this program. I would encourage you to go and find a coach and get them to teach you how to press the right way, and assess if you have the correct joint mobility and the correct biomechanics to see if the direction and the groove that you're pressing in is optimal for your body. And you need to treat it as a practice. Every single training session that I walked into, I would get my program and I would follow my ladders, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I would treat it as a practice. Doesn't matter if it's a set of 1, or a set of 5, or a set of 3, or anything in between. I am there at that present moment to nail that set. If I'm doing one press, I want the best fucking press that I've got. Nail that press. When that set's done, relax, chill out, shake your arms and legs about, go and get a sip of water, and then when the next set comes around, get yourself in the right frame of mind, switch on mentally, because the next set matters. Every single rep matters, okay? And this is actually quite interesting, because I had a number of people reach out to me, friends and people who I know on the line, who messaged me and DM'd me and stuff saying, hey man, your technique's really solid. And I was kind of like, A, thank you, and B, it should be for the number of fucking presses that I'm doing. This program that I followed, I tallied it up, it was something like I did over 2,000 presses over the course of a few months. So you think about that, the number of presses you have to do. If you're not getting any better, something's fucking wrong, okay? Treat it as a skill. Doesn't matter if it's 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 reps. Every single rep matters, because you're ingraining a motor pattern to your brain, to your body, to your nervous system to say, hey, this is the direction that the kettlebell must travel. If you do it correctly, it'll be a very efficient press. But if you do it incorrectly, it's going to be a very inefficient press and also maybe set you up for injury. So, yeah, I appreciated the compliments that people were paying me because I put a lot of time, effort and attention to detail into every single press. And that starts with the clean, okay? Because when I did my pressing, when I did my test, the right side felt amazing. All of my warm-up sets, I walked into the gym, I did my mobility, I did my upper back thoracic rotations and all of this stuff to make sure that the body was ready to do it. And I would warm up 20 kilos, 24 kilos, 28 kilos, 32 kilos, 36 kilos. And I wasn't concentrating on the press. I was concentrating on the clean. Because I knew if I got a good clean, I would set myself up, I would give myself a chance to nail the press. And that's what I want you to focus on as well. Okay? And also, if you are a novice or an intermediate lifter, pay for coaching. Not you know, hey, can I pick your brain or can I, you know, ask you a few questions to a coach that you respect? Actually pay them in dollars and cents. If you value somebody's expertise, someone's wisdom, and you understand the benefits of what they do, go and visit them, pay them their fee, pay their rate, and get the expert knowledge so then you can apply it. Put some skin in the game and you're going to get significantly better results. That's what I did. Before I tested my half bodyweight press, I went and I paid a coach who I respect, his name's Mike, and I got him to have a look at my press, to fine tune and troubleshoot anything that I could be doing better. Because if there's stuff I could be doing better, I want to know, so then I can actually apply it to my training, so then I can actually get myself closer to passing this half bodyweight test. Does that make sense? Cool. So that's number 4. Number 5. This right here, guys, is a secret weapon. This is something that is in the Strong First instructor manual, and my mentor brought it up for me. It's called Dominanta, and this is about focusing on generating tension, muscular tension, getting tight. All right. Something I did early on in the program was I focused on getting as tight as possible, which is a mistake, and here's why. The goal isn't creating maximum muscular tension just for the sake of generating tension. The goal is to create enough tension to press the bell. Huge difference there, okay? You're not trying to get as tight as fucking possible. You're trying to get tight enough to press the bell above the head for X amount of repetitions. Does that make sense? So you're getting tight enough. You're not being lazy, you're not being sloppy, you're still doing it with great form. But you've got to understand some of these practices, some of these sessions are 120 reps deep. Okay? So if you're getting as tight as fucking possible every single set, like I said, this is an energy draining program that I follow. You may run out of tension. If you run out of tension, you're not going to press the bell. The goal isn't to get as tight as possible. The goal is to get tight enough to press that kettlebell above your head the number of times that your program dictates. Okay? So generating enough tension, I've just discussed. Focus on the lifting. Yes, get tight, stabilize the body, contract the glutes, brace the abs, all of this good stuff. But focus on getting that bell above the head, because that's the goal of completing a half bodyweight military press. You must press the kettlebell above your head. Doesn't matter if you got tight or not. The goal is, did you get it from the ground to the rack to above your head and full lockout? Yes or no? That's what we're chasing here. All right? And this one here, the last piece, is what I call the ace up the sleeve. And this is using your breathing, okay? Typically with our grinds, it's a slower rep, which means the breathing has to match and accommodate the speed of your repetitions. What I would encourage you to do is exhale on the lockout. So you will sniff, clean the bell. As you lock the elbow out, you exhale. It's a sharp exhalation. When the bell gets really heavy and you have those higher rep sets of 3, 4, the 5 in particular, use what I call the valve. This is a slow release of air to basically be released at the same time as you press. So you'll sniff, clean it. And it's a slow release of pressure. Because you don't want to release all the pressure, because then you'll deflate and get soft and rounded and everything will collapse like a balloon. You still need to stay tight, hold your position, prevent the back from arching or excessively side bending, but you've still got to find a way to finish the rep. And that means it's a slow exhale, you're breathing between the teeth, which is what I call the valve, releasing a little bit of pressure as that press and that kettlebell goes above the head, okay? Last but not least, do not go through the motions, all right? I took this training program and this sequence, this goal of mine, very, very seriously, because it was the last piece of the puzzle that I needed to attain my SFG 2, okay? And like I said, it wasn't easy, it was fucking hard, it was very difficult. And that's why whenever I walked into my space here to train, it would be with an intention and a purpose, okay? If I had a low volume day, I would be like, woohoo, sweet, an easy day. Then if I had a moderate volume day, I knew it would kind of be, you know, all things going well, sleep, hydration, all the rest of it, I knew that it would be, you know, just an average day, just another training day. Not easy, not hard, but somewhere in the middle. And then on the high volume days, I knew I had my work cut out for me and I had to be switched on mentally and really dig deep to get all of those reps because, like I said, it's a long program, okay? It's not easy, and I'm talking not just in terms of the weeks, I'm talking the individual training sessions that make up the program. Okay, so I hope that gives you an insight into my journey and the quest for me to achieve this 40 kilogram military press, but also some insights into how you can improve your own military press and how you can be a bit more strategic with your own training. Because you can't just go ad hoc and make it up and wing it and just write it down on the fly. That's not going to work. So I would encourage you to get a plan. Don't add anything specific. Try it out first. Make sure that you're doing things correctly. Make sure you're following the program to a T. Because on this program I did 2 cycles. One with the 24, one with the 28. I didn't miss a single repetition. I didn't miss one fucking rep until the last training day. And that's because I fucked up and I didn't read the ladders properly. So I wrote down I had 3 ladders, I finished the 3rd, and I thought, whew, thank God that's over. And then Mike, who I paid for coaching, he said, hey Jesse, don't you have another ladder? And I was like, nah. And then I looked up the spreadsheet and I looked at the program again. I had another ladder. And it was on the 5th. It was on the very last rung of the last ladder. I did 4 reps, I missed the 5th, I parked the bell, and then Mike said, about 5-10 seconds later, he said, you still got one more rep, just do it now. So I cleaned it and I did the single. So I did 4 plus 1 on that very last rung to get it. But you shouldn't miss reps in your training. If you take it seriously and you actually set yourself up for the clean, first and foremost, nail the clean and you give yourself a chance of a good press, great things start to happen. So guys, a bit of a longer video, but I hope it gives you an insight into how I personally achieved the half bodyweight military press, 40 kilograms. Yeah, if you have any questions, queries, comments, follow up, drop them in the comments below and I will get back to you. But yeah, I hope this information can be useful to you because I've just been on a journey and I know a lot of people are looking for more kettlebell information, and I'm hoping with this longer form of video, it gives you some information on how to maximize your own training so that you stay safe and you increase your own performance as well so you can get stronger, build more muscle and hit some PBs like I did. So yeah, thanks for watching guys, and I will speak to you soon. Cheers.